most civilized people are out of touch with reality because they confuse the world as it is with the world as they think about it. Now, of course, reality, from a philosopher's point of view, is a dangerous word. A philosopher will ask me, what do I mean by reality? Am I talking about the physical world of nature? Or am I talking about a spiritual world? Or what? Now, it's amazing what doesn't exist in the real world. For example, in the real world, there aren't any things, nor are there any events. That doesn't mean to say that the real world is a perfectly featureless blank. It means that it is a marvelous system of wiggles in which we descry things and events in the same way as we would pick out particular groups of stars in the sky and call them constellations, as if they were separate groups of stars. Well, they're groups of stars in the mind's eye, in our system of concepts. They are not out there as constellations already grouped in the sky. So in the same way, the difference between myself and all the rest of the universe is nothing more than an idea. It is not a real difference. And meditation is the way in which we come to feel our basic inseparability from the whole universe. And what that requires is that we become interiorly silent and cease from the interminable chatter that goes on inside our skulls. Because, you see, most of us think compulsively all the time. That is to say, we talk to ourselves. If I think all the time, that is to say, if I talk to myself all the time, I don't have anything to think about except thoughts. And therefore I'm living entirely in the world of symbols, and I'm never in relationship with reality. Meditation is the discovery that the point of life is always arrived at in the immediate moment. Time is always now. And that's one of the things we discover when we stop talking to ourselves and stop thinking. We find there is only a present, only an eternal now. So it's funny then, isn't it, that one meditates for no reason at all, except we could say for the enjoyment of it. And here I would interpose the essential principle that meditation is supposed to be fun. Meditation brings us into a state of peace where we can understand that the point of life, the place where it's at, is simply here and now.
Thanks to advances in technology, we can be in a virtual space and experience the reality of a location without being physically present. Today, we will embark on a journey of the past to experience the presence of desolate landscapes and towns that have been forgotten by time. Come with us and experience the history of the past through virtual reality. Silver City. Established in 1869, more than 30 years later in 1908, 1,500 people lived in town. You can still see the original structures from the early 1900s and get a sense of the footprint of this historic mining town, now a ghost of the past. Not much remains of this old town. The town was deserted in 1930 after the mines ran out and people began relocating to adjacent towns of Eureka and farther east into the Utah Valley. Eureka was known as one of the quietest mining towns in the West, but by 1910 it was the 9th largest city in Utah. You are being placed in one of these homes, which structure is still standing, but heavily vandalized. Homes like this can be found all over the town of Eureka. What used to be a family home became ruins and attracted vandalism. This is the jail of Eureka, now abandoned. You can still feel the eeriness of being a prisoner, unable to leave the small living quarters. The town was deserted in 1957 when scarcity of water forced the shutdown of the mines, and most inhabitants were forced to relocate. While some people still live in this semi-ghost town, most structures continue to decay due to the harsh summers and winters and lack of maintenance. Like this housing complex, completely caved in.